Today's video we're going to be making this bridal luxurious fan, feathered fan made with feathers, applique with crystals and lace trimming, fancy lace trimming. These fans are usually used for like traditional wedding event, etc, etc. First item we're going to be using to make this fan is your skeleton. It can be any kind of fan as long as it's something that has this shape, a circle with a handle at the bottom. You're going to need scissors, glue, lace, fancy lace trimming like this. You will need like 2 yards of it, masking tape, tassels. This is the crystal applique that I'll be using to finish the center. I used 1 yard of it, and your feathers. This is the style of the day because you're going to use the most quantity. You're going to use 2 yards of it. 2 yards of it is going to be like 2,500 or 2,000 depending on where you stay, and 0.5 inch foam. The list of all the items that I use will be found in the description box below, including the links to where you can get it. I'll use AliExpress links. I have affiliate links. It's not going to cost you extra. It just means that when you buy with my links, I'm going to be earning a percentage off that. So the first thing you want to do is to cut out your foam, your 0.5 inch foam, and use it to wrap the handle. You just need to cut the quantity that you need, nothing more, and then secure with a glue. The glue I'm using here is the E60 glue. If I don't want my work to be too messy, I use the E60 glue, and then I'm going to wrap around with a masking tape. The masking tape is just to properly secure the foam around the handle. So once you are done doing that, you're going to cut out your fabric, which I did not mention. You need a scrap piece of fabric. I'm using satin here, but you want to cut out a fabric 1.5 inch wider than your fan circumference or diameter. Sorry, the total diameter of my fan is 7 inches. You want to be careful how wide your fan is, because the wider your fan means the more feathers that you're going to use, and generally the more material that you're going to require. So you want to get a small fan that you can work with. At the end of the day, it's going to be wide, since the feathers are actually very long. The feathers measure about 5 to 7 inches or thereabout. So that shouldn't matter. The size of fan would not matter. It doesn't mean that you're going to have a small feathered fan. It just means that you're going to have a smaller surface to work with, but the feathers will make it wider. So you just want to wrap your fabric around the fan and then close it off with, or secure it with a glue. I use the top bond glue, which is also what they call the evostick gum. You can get a bottle of it, a little quantity, where they sell shoes for about 200 naira. It's not expensive. And then we're going to cut out a smaller circle of fabric and then cover off the initial gum that we placed at the beginning. And then we're going to place glue or the evostick gum around the first circumference. There's going to be just 2 layers of feather on each of the sides of the fan. I don't know if I'm making sense, but I'm going to go around and rub the evostick gum on the first layer, and then we're going to apply our feathers. And then we're going to go around again on the second layer, leaving about 0.5 to 1 inch space between the first layer, and then we're going to apply the feathers again. So for this fan, which is 7 inch in diameter, I use 2 layers in front and 2 layers at the back. So after using 2 layers in front and 2 layers at the back, I just had a very little quantity remaining, and then I just placed it at a section of the fan, and that was it, and the feather was exhausted. So this is what I mean when I say you should try not to get a very wide fan, because it also determines how much feathers that you need and how much applique that you also need. So once I'm done applying the feathers on my gum or evostick gum or top bond, you also want to do that at the back of the fan. So I'm done doing this at the back, and then I'll wrap the handle of the fan with the lace trimming that I got. I also pulled out at this section where you hold the fan some feathers, which I don't think is necessary, but because I needed to have work area, I had to do that. Then the next thing we'll do is to take our tassel and then try to pass it through the fancy trimming, and we're going to secure it with a masking tape, and then we'll secure the lace trimming with our gum, or with evosti gum or E60 glue. For this I use E60 glue. Now here's the secret: if I want something to be less messy, I use the E60 glue, and it's actually very strong. The hold is quite good compared to the uhu. I bought uhu, but I didn't use uhu for this project. But if I have a large work area, I use evosti because it's cheap, and then it also secures well, but it makes a mess. So after I'm done securing the base of the handle, I'll now go around wrapping to cover up the masking tape with the lace trimming. So I just apply my E60 glue and place it on the side of the fan handle and start to wrap. Some people also use the glue gun, but I just figured that the glue gun doesn't really work for me. So I don't use the glue gun. I just rather use the E60 glue because it does a really good job, especially the fact that the tiny nozzle helps with, clean application, no mess at all. So once we're done wrapping the handle, we just want to fold the end, apply the E60 glue, and then I'll secure it. It holds very well. The next thing I'm going to do is to close off the center of the fan. We're not going to leave it like this. So we're just going to take our trimming with crystal. What makes your fan look really luxurious is how much crystals your trimming has. So if your trimming or your applique has a lot of crystals, your fan looks really fancy. But if it's just plain, it looks basic. Brides usually like to go with trimmings that have a lot of applique to give them that luxurious look. So once we are done cutting out these trimmings, we're just going to place it on to see how much we're going to need. You want to check to ensure that you're not using too much. So I use 5 in front and 4 at the back. In total, I just rubbed up my evosi gum that I bought, and then I placed it for the front and the back. If you have gotten to the end of the video and you enjoyed this video, you learned something new, please do it by sharing this video with your friends and family, and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video.